Hello guys, Messenger of Death here, and we need to talk about Digimon Super Rumble. As I feel like I've been a bit quiet ever since I was going to wait and make my decision on whether I was going to quit the game. I recently got a notice today that I'm going to bring up in a moment. But essentially, as you all know, they made a massive anti-consumer update that has been really disgusting and has really affected the game in a lot of negative ways and has essentially been done to screw over all free-to-play players and even those that actually pay for the game have also basically had their time and experience nerfed into the ground because right now the drop rates on so many items are absolutely atrocious. There was recently a blunder when it came to Digimon Super Rumble recently to do with the lottery. There was a lottery for Giarimon in order to get a Guilmon and whatnot that completely went to hell. And, I do find it very interesting where they said, they basically gave out a bunch of items for it and said, we will make every effort to prepare without any problems and ensure the process proceeds without a hitch because they're doing a redraw on the lottery for it. And I would appreciate if you could watch again with a generous heart. I find that line incredibly interesting right now, and I'm going to tell you why. I find that line very interesting right now when they just completely screwed over the whole entire community as a whole with Digimon Super Rumble. Where is their generous heart when they ripped things away from all the players and basically made it so that now farming is just absolutely atrocious and painful and a waste of players' time? Where was their generous heart? But no, they want us to have a generous heart, of course. Keep giving them money and feeding them and putting money on the table for a game that they literally just butchered. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We're here when it comes to the drop rate. So people were waiting till like Monday that had kind of gone on whether they were going to quit the game or whatnot because said they were going to give us an update. That update was a lot of crap. But essentially, they didn't give us an update. They kept things the way they were. But they did do something interesting. They showed how much they increased the rates. I'll get to that in a moment, but I just want to talk about something right now. January 4th, 2024, the drop rate penalty based on level difference was removed and the drop table was completely revised, where they fucked everyone over. Yes. The upward adjustment was made twice on January 5th and January 6th has reached its current status. What, where they increased it by 0.03%? I am not joking. After nerfing it into whatever it used to be when it was actually good, they nerfed it, and the rates were absolutely terrible that they nerfed it to, and they increased it by 0.03%. That was the big change they decided they were going to make on January 5th and 6th. 0.03%. Let that sink in. First of all, we apologise for any confusion caused by the rapidly changing situation. Yeah, sure you do. Sure you do. You're not sorry at all. This was deliberate, clearly. This time, we removed the drop rate penalty system based on level difference. The thing that players wanted without you basically butchering the game, yes. But you did butcher the game. And changed the overall structural design so that better items with higher drop rates can be dropped as stronger enemy Digimon are defeated. So, I want you to pay attention to that line. So that better items with higher drop rates can be dropped as stronger enemy Digimon are defeated. Meaning, better drop rates for higher level mobs. There's a guy currently in the Naval Cafe forums who was talking about how he sat there at the Bakamon spot, a spot where people used to farm the Edgemon rifts, and he's gone for 7 hours there and hasn't gotten a single rift item. 7 hours. Within me going from 32 to 42, I would get at least about 2 to 3 rifts. This guy's spent 7 hours. God knows how many Digimon he's trained in that time over those 7 hours and not gotten that single rift. Because that was just one team and it did not take me anywhere near close to 7 hours when I got 2 or 3 in the past before they nerfed everything into the ground. 7 fucking hours. Yeah. Therefore, the strong enemy Digimon, the higher the drop rate is set and the later areas are, the higher grade items are released. AKA, if you want a better translation, the stronger the enemy Digimon, the higher the drop rate is, and the later areas are where the higher tier items are in terms of better rift units, ultimate queues, money earned, etc. We want to continue in this direction and give those who are stronger Digimon the same level of achievement. I'm going to tell you why they literally have not in a moment. As a first step, more powerful level 96/97 Digimon will be placed on the field in the regular update on January 18th, and we plan to gradually increase this structure. I'm telling you, this isn't really going to be much of a difference, and I bet on that. And I'm going to tell you why I bet on that. Because I just spent 2 full EVP bars at the highest level Master Tyrannomal spot currently, which is level 94. I never got a single Ultimate Cube. Whereas pre-patch, before they nerfed the drop rates into the ground, I would have gotten maybe 2 to 3, maybe 1 to 2 if I got unlucky. But let's just say I went with 1 within that EVP bar. That's still something. I would have at least gotten a Rift during that time. I still haven't gotten a single Rift after 2 EVP bars. After they originally made the update, I went through 4 EVP bars, still not getting a single Ultimate Cube, and still not getting that many Rift items. I got, I think, maybe 2 in 4 EVP bars. Just absolutely atrocious considering I get 1 to 2 minimum if I was unlucky, and usually about 2 to 3 on average before the patch changed everything. But anyway, as they plan to gradually increase the structure on January 18th. We'll see. But unless they actually change the rates, just putting these in, what they're going to do? 0.075%? Yeah, that's just going to be so much of a difference. Right now, some people are angry and some are disappointed by the sudden change in the situation. No shit, Sherlock. You butchered the game and ruined it for everybody. We will do our best to develop many systems and enjoyable content so that these feelings will disappear. You better had, because so many people have quit this game already. I am truly sorry for disappointing many people due to recent events. So what they've done is, they posted some Digimon that come into the game, that Mastermon and Apocalypmon, and they say, oh, we will become a Digimon Super Rumble team that works harder. Sorry again. Right. We're going to have a look at the old update on the drop rate. So, they wouldn't dare to post the original drop rate that we was originally at when things were good. They wouldn't dare do that. So what it is, they showed us what they gave us when they originally did the update. January 4th, a drop rate penalty based on level differences removed. The entire drop table was revised and updated. On January 5th, 2024, the first upward adjustment of the drop rate was carried out through temporary maintenance. On January 6th, for a sudden restart, second upward adjustment of the drop rate has been carried out. This is where they did the minimum is 0.52, the maximum is 0.55. 0.03 fucking percent. That is absolutely disgusting. That's not a upward... I mean, technically, if you want to be literal about it, it's an upward adjustment. That's fuck all. That's nothing. Considering, I think the drop rate increase from the cash out boost is at 20%, that puts it at about 0.66%, which is nothing. And bear in mind, I'm farming the highest level grind spot, which costs millions to set up because you need to get Metal Siegemon or Deathmon. You need to have like 60-odd% strength for the Siegemons, which costs millions to get. That's so many 4% blocks. On top of the getting your skills to at least level 8 or 9, which is, again, millions because you're probably going to be spending so many ultimate cubes trying to make the mega cubes to even level their skills and failing multiple times, and it costs bits every single time you attempt to do a skill level up. It's going to cost you millions upon millions upon millions, and we're getting fuck all back. So, they said they would update us on Monday, and they never did really do anything on Monday. They didn't change anything. This is what we got instead. And essentially, there was a certain line that I saw. To give an example of one of the possibilities, the current high level or high spec requires a return equivalent to the effort and investment, which we are currently not getting. I am not getting a return equivalent to the effort investment. So, the reward from enemy Digimon can be caught at a high level or high spec is good. There may be a problem. Let me repeat that. So the reward from enemy Digimon that can be caught at a high level is good. There may be a problem. So let's say if we get a good reward, there is a problem. They just basically said to everybody, we don't want you to get good rewards for what your time and effort went into. We don't want to return your investment because if it's good, there's a problem. So they keep saying sorry, but they've not changed anything. So clearly they're not that flipping sorry, are they? They're clearly not. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. And I feel like this is quite important because I'm going to show you something in my Discord real quick. And we're going to go up a little bit. And I'll tell you what my recent experience was going there. So, I went to Master Tyrannomon, level 94. It's the highest level grind spot currently. With the best end game rift. It drops ultimate cubes. Well, it used to. I started off with 1.9 mil bits. And I spent 1 full EVP bar. By the end of it, I had 2.162. So basically, I had 2.1 mil. Almost 2.2. 7 times 10k USBs. That's 70k. I got 0 rifts, 0 ultimate cubes. I got 6 Master Tyrannomon cores, which are about 4k each. And if I didn't want to go to Chimon for half an hour, and I wanted to keep on grinding, bear in mind I've been grinding for 40 minutes before this EVP bar runs out, and I wanted to use EVP chips, I'd be spending 145k on those EVP chips to recharge the EVP of my Digimon. So during this EVP bar, I only made 174,742 bits in one EVP bar. Pre-patch, the Master Tyrannomon spot was about 1 to 2 mil an hour. You heard me correctly. It was about 1 to 2 mil an hour, depending on RNG and how lucky you got. And I only made 174k. And again, so look, better items with higher drop rates can be dropped to stronger enemy Digimon are defeated. Therefore, the stronger the enemy Digimon, the higher the drop rate is. And the later areas are, the higher grade items are released. Want to continue in this direction and give those who are stronger Digimon the same level of achievement. You are not giving me anywhere near the same level of achievement at all. You've completely butchered it. If I was earning 1 to 2 mil an hour and I spent 40 minutes, only made 174k, there's a problem. So, basically, in the past, as I said, I would have had about 1 to 2 ultimate cubes by that point. I would have about 2 to 3 risks by that point, and 1 if unlucky. And let's say I did get 1. And only 1 of each of them during that time, I would have practically doubled the amount of money I earned pre-drop rate. So you can consider that, what, like a 70-odd% nerf? Might not be perfectly accurate to the number, of course, but yeah. And they're saying that these 76s are going to be a massive change. So they'll probably put it to 0.75. We already saw what the drop rate was. 0.55 right now. Without cash shot boost, about 0.66 with drop boost. So you're talking about 0.9 maybe, 0.9, not even 1%. They completely just destroyed it. But then I did a second EVP bar, and I kept getting single Tyrannomons every single fight. And because now they've got a fixed bit rate drop, where the more mobs you fight, the more bits you earn, in terms of if you fight 1 enemy, 2 enemy, 3 enemies together, you'll earn different rates of bits, and it's kind of fixed in place for the most part. Well, my second trip, I earned 9k after those EVP chips. 9k. 40 minutes, a level 94 fucking spot for 9k bits. What do you mean the higher rate drops will reward us more? What do you mean that that's what you have intended when you're clearly not delivering it? What do you mean you were going to increase things and only put it up by 0.03%? This is not acceptable. This picture right here is incredibly fitting. 9th of the 7th, 2021 was when it started. 4th of the 1st, 2024 was when the game basically got destroyed. 3 years they had good standing with the community. 3 years they basically had everybody. There were some complaints here and there, but they accepted and found it at least tolerable for the most part. The lack of content, the multiplayer content and all that, didn't really bother us that much, because to us, it was somewhat, at least, tolerable, because we got something out of our time and effort while we were waiting for new content, right? Generally, it would always be new Digimon, but we really need more group content and things to do. But they basically just ripped it in half. And I'm going to tell you a little story, because I feel like this is very fitting. You see, there was once a monkey who was sat there in the tree, minding his own business. And he looked down below, and he saw a rhino, and he saw a hippo having an argument over a biscuit that was sat there on a plate, right? The monkey sat there, stroking his chin, and he's like, what's the commotion? What are they arguing about? And they're like, well, I want the last biscuit, I want the last biscuit. And we can take the rhino and the hippopotamus, and we can see it as the two sides of the community. The whales, and we can see it as the free-to-plays, right? These two people arguing over how things should be, you know? Because not every player is obviously on the same page. They never are in video games. Everyone's got different opinions and whatnot. You know, they always back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, anyway, they're arguing over this biscuit. And the monkey sat there in a tree watching them. He was like, maybe I should go and help the situation. The monkey climbs down from the tree. He picks up the biscuit. At this point, both animals stare at the monkey in anger. Like, what are you doing with our biscuit? The monkey goes, well, why don't you share it? And he breaks the biscuit in half. And he hands one half to the rhino, one half to the hippopotamus. And both of them are looking at this biscuit and they say, well, how come... the rhino says to the hippopotamus, how come they got the bigger half? And the monkey's like, what do you mean? He says, well, that half is clearly bigger than the one you've given me. He said, oh, sorry. He takes a nibble to try and make it more even. But he said takes a little bit too much off, and it's still not looking even. And he hands it back, and he goes, well, how about now? The other one complains and says, well, they've got a bigger half now. That's a bit unfair. Oh, sorry. Continue to nibble. And this kept going on for a while. Both sides kept bickering, the monkey kept trying to cut pieces off, and eventually, the monkey finished both halves of the biscuit, and there was none left. Both the animals were angry, raging. How dare you do this? You just ruined our biscuit that we wanted. And the monkey goes and hides up in the tree and smiles down, hiding from the animal's wrath. AKA, Move Games is the monkey, as you could tell in this situation. They basically saw these two people arguing, where the whales are saying, oh, it's a bit too easy for free-to-play to earn some money, so we don't get as much mileage out of us spending money. And then the free-to-play players were like, well, it's kind of ridiculous that you're locking all this stuff behind a paywall, such as the Itmon tree, the Doraemon tree, etc., etc. It wasn't too bad. If you spent the time and investment, you could easily get them, of course, back before the pre-patch. Back before they changed everything and ruined the drop rates right now. And essentially, Move Games was the monkey that came down, took the biscuit, which was Digimon Super Rumble, and basically ruined it. So now neither side are happy. Even more so than before, both sides are angry. Many have quit and left the jungle. They don't want to be there anymore. They're quite annoyed that essentially their meal got ruined, aka their fun. And that's essentially Move Games. And I feel that's a pretty brilliant and accurate analogy to use in this situation. That's essentially what Move Games has done. This is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. This is atrocious what they have done. And that leaves me. What about me? So, as you can tell, I'm obviously not happy about this situation. I'm very angry, not just from a player perspective, but a content creator perspective, who has been covering this game for 2 years and invested 2 years of my life on this game, investing in it, guiding players, helping them out, putting my time and energy, telling them to come to this great game that the game once was. It wasn't perfect, but no game ever is. Every game has its problems, things that different people are going to dislike. But at least you could, as a free-to-play player, put time in and get what you needed. And you was adequately rewarded, not too much, but not too little, for your time and effort. And they've now just basically swept that away. Now, you all know, if you watch my channel, that essentially my TV broke, so as you can see right now, the visuals aren't the best. But we do have Power World coming out on the 19th of this month, which I will be doing. And I'm eager to see what these 76s, 96s, sorry, are going to be like. How good of Digimon they're going to be for drop rate and all that. And I bet you it isn't going to make much of a difference. I'm going to still keep an eye on Digimon Super Rumble. But I do have a few ideas in mind on what I'm going to do in the meantime while we currently wait for Power World to come out and we wait for Digimon Super Rumble to get these new updates, and we'll see whether they can redeem themselves. If they are serious about making changes, we'll find out. But so far, I have very little faith because they've shown nothing but very little effort to want to change things. They clearly don't want to put effort in. They're clearly not sorry. They're quite happy that they've screwed over the community, and they're sat there in a tree watching everyone bickering from the safety of their tree where we can do nothing about it. And we have no choice but to accept that that biscuit is now gone. So, I will have a few videos on Digimon Super Rumble coming out in the next few days. But I do want to highlight something. There's a certain post that somebody posted in my Discord, and I really appreciate it, C-Fox. Surely some of you have seen them in the stream. And they essentially found this, and this is why I'm confident that things are only going to get worse and more downhill from here. As much as DMO had a special spot in my heart, it started with high free-to-play friendly, with items in cash shop optional. But as new Digimon came out and more mechanics came out, they slowly switched from free-to-play farming to pay-to-play or get nothing mentality. Almost everything now is cash shop only. You want the riding item? Fork out cash. You want the burst mode but don't have the in-game currency to buy it from other players? Pay with cash. Oh, the server got many hats causing the economy of the game to go out of whack, making it impossible for new players. There's been a lack of staff involvement in issues that were just plainly ignored. Even if some stuff can be farmed now, the damage is already done, and most players that play now are people who would spend $100 to $400 daily, with a rare few people who are starting the game but quitting after a week or two, and it's sad, because this is for every Digimon MMO so far. DBO was the same way. GDRO, worst of them all, scammers and liar devs equals same devs as GDMO. And probably the same will happen with future Digimon MMO, where it'll be free to play friendly, and then suddenly change and shift to pay to play heavy, and I hope they can prove us wrong, but so far they've all been the same. So I am going to continue to do content. I'm just going to give you a few examples of how bad it is. I'm going to bring out a few things that are included in the game, but I hope you all understand my reason and why I'm going to probably leave Digimon Super Rumble behind and move on. Because this is just now. We've not even gotten to Ultras and Megas that can Jogras together into like Ultra tier Digimon and whatnot. Goodness knows what BS are going to lock Apocalypse behind or Mastermon. I mean, they recently gave us the Beelzemon update that a lot of people were super excited for, and locked it behind 200 green data streams, which takes like 600 rifts to get because the drop rate is absolutely abysmal, and getting a green data stream from the rifts, that's been nerfed as well, by the way. And you need 200 of them. And considering now people are spending, like that person who spent 7 hours at Bakamon and not getting a single rift item, and me who spent 2 full EVP bars for about an hour 20 minutes worth of time and still not gotten a single rift at the latest game grinding spot, is going to be absolutely ridiculous to achieve and even obtain. Not to mention, again, to get Impmon, cash shop tree. It's honestly now going to start to downhill. It's just going to continue to get worse. I'm sorry, but it is, guys. But anyway, I'm going to try and bear with this sheer horribleness. And I'm looking forward to Power World. Got somebody coming out to get me my TV fixed eventually, so I'm just waiting for a technician to get hold of me, and they're going to come around and try and fix my TV, so hopefully we'll have good quality for Power World, it's not ruined. But I just wanted to talk about it today and, you know, give you guys a bit of an update. give you some examples of why this is not acceptable. So anyway, with that said, thank you very much guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace. Have you seen me and my team? Lots of monsters here rocking with me. The digital, yeah, that's for sure. But I'm coming in with a dragon's roar. Across the skies, yeah, I'll soar. Keep knocking foes back and coming for more. You don't want to see these hands on my dream on claws. Blowing you back with a terror force.